Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. How y'all doing? Do we have some painters here today? We've got a Nikki. Heyo, heyo, heyo. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Today snuck up on me real quick, like. That 1 week it flew by. It flew by. I may have been quick to the jump to start doing these every week. So we do have next week's plan of the panda, but we'll talk about it later. We'll see how it goes. But how are you? How's Nikki? Are we excited to paint a Bart Simpson today? I think it's pretty easy. He's a couple squares and a couple circles, basically. His fingers are I think it'll be good. Woo! Bart Simpson! Heck yeah! Daniel! I'm excited. I think he's cool. You can't paint tonight, but you're gonna stay in chat. Hey, we know that there's always importance it's always important to be a member of the peanut gallery as well, right? We love a good peanut gallery here at Paint Night. Or else I'll just be awkward because I'll be talking to myself and I get weird, you guys. I get weird. Okay. Last week I drank that Red Bull and I shouldn't have. I was wilding out. Today we're easy. I just got some water. I'm ready. I feel a little bit less rusty than I did last time. I do have Mike Wazowski here. This is what we painted last week. Oh, which camera should I put it in? It's the real question. There we go. Look at that little cutie. One new thing that's cool about caffeine is that our recordings stay on here now. So either YouTube or caffeine, you can find all these old videos. But I'm just going to get going. I think we're just going to start her nice and quick. I'm trying to get faster so they're not full 2 hours, but maybe that stresses people out. Who knows? We shall see. I'm just going to go through the little studio rules quick. And then let's get to painting, okay? Everything's sound. Everything looks good. There's no skipping. Streaming out of this area just makes my life compared to the madness that was the apartment. It's nice to not have to deal with 100 other people's internet at the same time. Okay, where am I looking? Our rules. Number 1. I'm a little bit more trained of a teacher than I was when I started, but I'm not really an officially trained teacher. So if I go too fast, if I explain something kind of weird, don't be scared to let me know. Ask questions. It really helps people who are watching later in YouTube. Hello, you little YouTubers. Questions are good. It helps me become a better teacher. Don't be scared to ask a question if you need, okay? Number 2 is you can start with a pencil. A lot of people prefer to start with a pencil, watercolor, pencil, crayon, whatever. I always teach it with paint and a paintbrush, but some people aren't comfortable with that, and that's a-okay. It takes some time to get a comfortable hand with the brush, and that's fine too. You know we're going to have to do the rest of the family now? Hey, we're starting with Bart, but you're right. Maybe that does mean that just throughout the months we will be doing Simpson characters. Bart's my favorite, so that's why I picked Bart. Number 3, don't treat your painting too precious, okay? I know you adults, you get stressed in your head, you think it's going to be bad before it's even done. And that's just going to ruin your painting experience and usually makes your painting bad anyway. Okay, so you're going to try to let go of trying to make something precious. You usually find beauty in the mistakes anyway. I'm a very messy painter. I'm a let loose painter. If Nico's here, he could vouch for me. That the crazier the better. The messier the better. You don't want to replicate the picture exact or else you just take a picture, right? We want to make a painting of it. Okay? Nico. You're here. I knew you'd be here, buddy. Okay, number 4 is trust the process. When I set up my streaming station, I didn't account for my bun. So it cuts off the sign. What can you do? Higher the hair, the closer to God. Is that what people say? Okay. Number 5 is water is your friend. Okay, we're using acrylic paint. Water will help out with a lot of our issues. And number 6 is let's have fun, okay? Don't be stressed. Don't think everything's going to go wrong. We're just having a nice hour and a half, 2 hours together painting, all right? So, first things first, when I paint this one, maybe I'll try. I'm going to try to paint it with yellow first, but I think you guys are going to have a hard time seeing it on the camera. So if that's the case, I'm going to go to a different color, but you should still stay with yellow if you're starting with paint, okay? So I'm getting out yellow. What yellow am I using? Cadmium free, yellow medium if you care, or just run of the mill. Oh, you're going to have to just trust me. Or if you're just using paint, any type of paint, just yellow works fine. For you, this is our base drawing, right? So it doesn't matter if it's super faint and you can hardly see the line. You want that. You want it to be light because it's just a messy underdrawing, okay? But for me on here, I'm going to try to make it a little bit darker so that y'all can see it, okay? So I took a little bit of yellow out onto my palette. I'm taking out a pointed brush, a smaller brush. Like, it could be even smaller than this if you want, like small. It can be squared. Oh my. Maybe, hopefully your brushes are in better shape than mine. Some people like to use these squared off ones as well because you can make lines with that too. Usually something like this is probably your best bet, right? Because we're basically drawing. I'm illustrating my I started as an illustrator before a painter, so I'm very drawing based first. That's why I teach you guys to do it like that, okay? So if you see over here on my hand, I am scooping some water out of my water dish right onto my palette. I don't know why you can't. There you go. And taking a tiny touch of yellow, I'm just gonna mix it around in those beads of water that I just pulled out of the water dish, okay? Till I make a nice chocolate milky consistency. You don't want it too watery, you don't want it too thick. Let's see, it's nice and wet. And we're gonna look at our canvas, imagine the square, and imagine our little Homer in there, okay? Because it's not Homer, he's Bart. Because it's super easy to just not anticipate where he's gonna go and draw his head too big and not have enough room for him. I do that often. So it's good to like kind of like roughly draw him out, like imagine where he's gonna be. We need to fit his whole head, his little pokey head, and his little shoes in the whole thing with about an inch on either side, okay? And we're gonna start by doing just his head. And his head's just a rectangle. Easy peasy. Take a deep breath, everybody. And let's start with a good old, oops, where am I looking? There we go. With a good old rectangle. Okay? So let's just imagine his spikes are going to go on top of this rectangle, so you got to keep room for his little spiky hair. And we're just going to draw a rough rectangle. And remember, it can be rough. Like, look at how many times I'm going around. It's not perfect. Can you guys see that line okay? We're just going to do a good old rectangle. Justin's late and he's fired. Yeah. I'm glad you said it and I didn't have to. Okay. I changed up the time on you guys. It's okay. It's my fault. We've got a good old rectangle head for little Bart Simpson. I might have even made that rectangle a little bit too big. I just told you guys to imagine it, and I might have overdid it a little bit. It's the beauty of art. So we might shove him in there a little bit. All right, and from that little rectangle, you can see his little, like, cutie chin, right? And that's easy peasy. Like, let's just make a little square underneath that rectangle. That works, right? Did I make it too? We're just going for it. We're just going for it. Eat my shorts, says Kenzie coming in the chat. In full capitals too. Love it. Eat my shorts is right. Okay, so we've got a rectangle, we've got a square, and then for most of the rest of his body, imagine we're going down to where his shorts stop, okay? We're gonna just draw a rectangle. His whole body is gonna go in there. Okay, now you're gonna be like, what? This doesn't look like Bart Simpson. What was rule number 4? Trust the process, okay? So we have a rectangle, we've got a chin, we've got where his body's gonna go, and his legs will come after. All right, it's Thursday! Oprah of props. Will I mess everything up if I turn this? Oprah? Do you see over there? Do you see? Where's my finger? Oprah is literally on my easel as we speak over there. So is Will Smith and Drake. But... Oh, come on. Oh, sorry, Oprah props. Wow. They're like, I don't know her. I'm the Oprah of props. Okay. Well, sorry. My apologies. Oh my gosh. To answer Mustard Tiger's question, are we drawing Bart naked? No, but we are on a plus 17 show, so maybe it will go that direction. Who knows? Okay. I'll drop a prop for everyone who says hey right now. Oh my gosh, you guys, get up in the chats. Everyone's got to drop a hey. And Oprah props will do what they do best. Oh, look at you little sweet little angels. I appreciate you. Okay, we've got our Homer Simpson, right? We've got a couple squares, we've got a couple rectangles. No stress, right? Easy peasy so far. So from there, we are going to draw his... Oh, I messed up the camera. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have brought Oprah into this. There we go. We've got his good old little rectangle face. Now let's just map out where his eyes are, because yellow... Or not everybody's white. Sorry, because yellow. Because not everybody's white at home is going to be powerful enough to cover every other pigment. So we're going to anticipate where those eyeballs will be, and we're not going to color them yellow, okay? So let's start by doing just one eyeball, which is just a big old circle right there. Oh, thanks, Oprah props. Just, ooh. Somebody call 911. Shorty fire burning on the dance floor. Right? Is that how it goes? I always love when I think about YouTube people watching this later and they're like, what's happening? Right now, a bunch of props are just getting thrown into my chats. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate it. All right, we've got one eyeball, right? Mrs. Officer, hey. Wee. Oh, and Acid's back. Hello. Good to see you as always. We're doing Bart. Right, when we go back to this next eyeball, do you see how it overlaps the other one? So it's not like we're going to go right beside. We're going to overlap that eyeball just a little bit. And remember, you can do a couple... Oh, gosh. Oh, they got away on me a little bit. They got a little bit away. He got a little googly-eyed on me. That's okay. But see how the eyeball went right over top. The other one. Oh my god, I didn't know what props were when I found you on YouTube, especially when you said I got a potato. Yeah, see. And I know for a fact there are many people that have only watched my YouTubes. They never catch the lives, which is totally fine. Most of them live in different places or just prefer to do the YouTubes more. And yeah, that makes sense that you guys would be confused. A potato is the best prop of them all. Oh, my head or whose head? Whose head's too close? Bart's head or my Bart's head? Like that? Is that better? Is this yellow okay too? Can you see that okay? Nice. Okay. So one thing that I just realized I just didn't tell you, if you're working on canvas like me and you're using acrylic paint, did you see how I dipped my rag in water and then used my finger to just kind of wipe away that little area that I didn't want? You can use that often. Just wipe away your mistakes, because remember, no such thing as mistakes. Oh my gosh. I just clicked my mouse and I thought I just unstreamed. Stop streaming. Is that what I meant to say? Okay. So we've got our Bart. We've got 2 eyeballs. We've got a chin. We've got it going on. Right? We're still using that chocolate milky consistency of paint. And we're going to draw his little nose. And guess what that is? It's a little bean. Oh, I'm just coming in close into that camera. And that little bean is just like this. Look. You don't even have to. If you want, you can complete the full bean. If you want, you can just do a half. We're basically going to color that all yellow, but it's kind of nice to see where it's going to go. It helps us start laying some stuff out. Right? Little bean. Aw. Cute Bart Simpson. Right? Okay. Dan Lowe is TDCTO director. 100%. New setup is nice, isn't it? Again, I gotta give a shout out to my boys. I can take no credit for the new setup. All right, and let's go and do a little cutie ear on this guy. And always look at our reference photo down there, remember? Look at where his eyeball is and see where the ear is in relation to his eyeball, to his nose. It's like roughly here, right? So let's just draw a circle. Boop. Remember, some people are using pencil right now still. That's okay. Some of you are painting along. That's cool. Right? But we've got Bart's face just about there. If you want, we can do the spikies. Do you want to do his spikies now? They're just little triangles. And you start on the outside. You go straight up. On both of the outsides, you go straight up first. And then you just bring it up and down. Up and down. You can make them a little curvy if you want. But they're just little good old triangles. Perfect. Right, we've got those cute little Bart triangle. I'm going to do this a little bit darker so you can see it a little better. Light is so bright over here. I gotta figure that out more. Blinded by the light. Okay. Now where are we off to? We are... should I change it? Should we... No, we're going for it. Okay. From here... Again, your paint is very watery, right? It's very light. You don't want to be able to see thick chunks of paint. It's going to be so watery that it just dries into the canvas. We're going to roughly lay out where his little arms are going to go, and then we're going to change some colors, okay? So first, let's just make a good old bean right out the side. Check that little bean. That hurts him. What is that sound? Okay, we got a bean. How's that? How's that? One nice little bean. And on the other side, we've got another bean, but it just goes down a little bit more, okay? So let's just make a bean that goes on down. He looks like he's got floaty arms or something right now. Bean. Another bean. We're not going to worry about the next ones. We're just going to leave it at that. I know it probably feels weird, but we're just going to leave that there for now. Okay? And we're going to take out our red paint. Talking about potatoes, you guys. Everybody in on YouTube not knowing what a potato means. Somebody just dropped me a potato. It's the best prop you could ever get. That's the right shade. Stop it, you. Oh my gosh, we got a basketball. I've never seen the basketball prop. Thanks for the tips, you guys. You sweet little angel cupcakes. Means the world. I love potatoes. So do I. So do I. And if you click it, is it still there? Did I lose it? If you click it, oh, it explodes with some rainbow. Check it out if you're in the chat. Now they're just talking about poutine in the comments. That'll really separate the Canadians to the Americans. Am I right? Just so looking forward to some good real poutine. Disco fries aren't the same. Disco fries. What's a disco fry? Okay. Painters. Americans call them disco fries? Interesting. So I think you guys can tell which side I'm on of that. I think I just told you where I'm from. Okay. Okay, so we got red on our palettes, right? We're going to still keep using the same brush we're using before, whether it's the small one, whatever, pointed, some sort brush. You could still be using a pencil if you wish. We're just going to start outlining where his little shirt goes, okay? And you can do the same thing. We want that watery down red. We're going to go right into his little neck square that we made, right? And we're going to go up into it a little bit. And we're going to curve. We're going to make a curve line. It's not going to be straight across like this. It's going to be like this. Watch. Curved. Right? It's a curve. Lil RCV. Heyo, heyo, heyo. What's up? We're painting Bart Simpson. How you doing? Good to see all you guys again. Familiar faces are us over here. I love it. I can just hear the neighbor and it sketches me out. Okay, so we did that curved line, right? That's the top of his little neck. Okay? And we're going to bring a line right on down past that little bean we made. Okay? And then we're going to make the cutest little belly of all time. Are you ready for it? Underneath that bean that we drew, we're just going to go... Pew. Ah. Just a little boop out the side. Me after dinner, says Kenzie. Me, says Justin. Everybody thinking alike in there. And yeah, Kenzie, you should go in there. Everybody after they eat their poutine. This is what we turn into. Okay, and then we're going to picture his little body going further on the other side too. And we're going to make basically like a hula hoop, okay? From this side, we're going to go down and up. Alright, we popped out his belly. And then we did a little umbrella bottom. Same as this curve we did at the top. We did the curve at the bottom. It's not a straight line. If you look at my paintbrush, it's a straight line. It's a nice little curve to show that little down and up. 100%. Just down and up. I'm thinking of Happy Gilmore. What is it? Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Okay? And before we make his other little belly over there, let's just make his sleeve just to get crazy. Okay? Just because I have ADD and jump around in a painting, you have to too. Okay? So we are going to make, if you again look at the reference photo down here, we're making his sleeve, which is again another little circle. So we're going above the bean because the bean is his yellow. Just the words that I was just saying there. We're just going to make it above the bean. The bean is his arm, so we're making a sleeve around his arm, right? So we're going to go above it a little bit, above the bean, and we're going to make a curve, basically just like the edge of that bean that's already in there, right? If this was the yellow one, now we're just using red to follow that shape. Just tap, tap, tap-a-roo. Okay? How do we feel about that? And then make a line down the same rectangle that's his body. We're back to that line, right? Does that make sense? We see the yellow rectangle that we made underneath his body. We followed it on this side, and now after we made his sleeve, we're following it on this side. And then make that little belly match up. Aww. It looks like he's wearing a little dress or something right now. Just a cute little guy. Okay, And then on the other side, we're going to make his sleeve too. We're going to, same thing, start right above the bean we've already drawn and just make a line out. And then make a curved line. Again, it's not going to be straight up and down. It's going to be curved like this. Like we've got a t-shirt, folks. The only reason I'm not making a line on here is because if you see in the picture, his hand overlaps that a little bit, and I don't want to have some people not be able to paint over that red. So we're going to leave that for a minute. But now that we have red on our palettes, we're going to get a bigger brush. What size do I want to use? I don't know, bigger. It can be like bigger. It can be bigger. It can be... I don't have a nice variety here today. It can be like this. It's just important that it's bigger than what you were outlining with. It helps pull paint around a little bit more. And you're going to get your paintbrush wet and go right into your red. It doesn't have to be that chocolate milky consistency anymore. Now we kind of want more paint than water on your brush. I always move my brush around to get them all the bristles filled with paint, okay? And we're literally just going to color in this little t-shirt part that we have added. Okay? We're just painting his body. And again, everybody paint however you want. You don't have to paint the same way as me. I do, but whatever, I always tell you the tips and tricks that I'm thinking of and doing as I'm painting. And I always like to try to be conscious of my brush strokes and paint them in the direction that his shirt is. Obviously in here it just looks like a big red blob, but when you get closer you can see, maybe, let's see if it'll work. No, it's not. Kind of. See how you can see some of those brush strokes? And they're all moving in the same direction, like, of his shirt. You can paint it crazy in every direction if you want, but sometimes when you are conscious of your brush strokes, it kind of, like, gives an extra step and a layer of depth to your painting a little bit. I'm going to color in that one arm. It's going to look weird until we put some highlights and outlines in it, but that is all we're going to do with the red for now, okay? Little Bart Simpson. Are we trusting the process? Is everybody content so far? This is thicker, less wet. Yes, 100%. When we use... when you want to cover up spots or fill in spots and you want the paint to be more opaque than translucent, you want to use as little water as you can. More water means more translucency, if that's a word, in your paint, okay? And we're going to take out some blue onto our palettes. In this case, I got out just a light blue permanent. It literally is just... If you have a dark blue, you can add white if you want to be this color. If you want to just use your dark blue, use your dark blue. That's fine too. I'm going to go back to my good old outline paintbrush that I was using. Again, remember, up to you if you want it to be smaller, whatever, whatever. But we're going into our paint, our blue paint. My paintbrush still has a bunch of red in it. Get out of here. So even though I just said you want to use as little water as possible, it doesn't mean you don't want to use any water. A little water on your brush really does help pull paint across. So I'm going to get that blue. You want it to be a bit waterier, more watery, whatever the right word is. And we're going to come under his cute little chubby belly that we just made. And we're going to imitate, we're going to pretend like we're drawing the bottom of that belly, like a circle. If you're picturing this whole thing like a circle, that belly that we made, and then these shorts that we're drawing, we're just trying to fill in the bottom of that circle. Ooh, I guess I'm being a jerk to you pencil users at this point. Maybe you do just want to, sorry, I didn't think. I'm like, color this in purple. I mean, color this in blue. But if you're using a pencil, you would just be making this shape. So the outline here of this bottom of this circle we were talking about. I usually tend to make my characters a little bit chubbier than they actually are, and I think it's already happening with this one. Love it. Okay. And again, from there, we're just gonna make a little rectangle out of that rectangle we've already drawn. Post-pandemic Bart can relate. Same, actually, Justin, same. Are we all just a little bit chubbier than we were before COVID? No? Not everyone? Just me? Okay, cool. But see how we're still using that main rectangle that we did down there to make his little shorts? I basically cut 3/4 of that rectangle in half to get that little one short down, and it's kind of, again, a curved bottom, but we can do that later. And again, from there, a little bit on the outside of the rectangle, but we've got his other pair of shorts. Again, outline and value is really going to bump these up. What's nice about doing cartoons like this is it's not like we have to blend hard. We're going to mix a bunch of white into the blue and just do a whoop swipe, and we're good to go. Fitting into pants is so 2019. Not wrong. Not wrong. Okay, and how can I teach you this the easiest way? Do I, since we have blue on our brush, draw his shoes in right away, or do we do his legs first? We probably do his legs first. I think that might be easier for everybody. Are you looking at my guts, isn't you? Let's just do everyone a favor and look at no guts, okay? Leave our guts out of this. Okay. How are we feeling? Let me know if I'm going too fast. But y'all know me, that's normal. My brain runs a mile a minute. Okay, whenever you're mixing between colors like this, you always want to make sure your brush is nice and clean. Soak it off, rub it in your paper towel. Looks great so far. Love it. But we're going back to yellow after using blue. You gotta make sure your brush is clean because the blue will mix up with the yellow. I just got distracted because Svengali. I know. It's been 6 months. Isn't that wild? I ditched y'all by accident. It wasn't on purpose. Life just got crazy. I'm back, engaged, moved into a new house, moved into a new studio. Right? Had a couple art shows. Life's been wild. Life's been wild. But it's good to be back. Good to see you familiar faces, I keep saying. Okay, painters. Sorry, we're back to the yellow, and we're using our same pointed brush. You're still using a pencil if you want. Nico says his is looking good, but this is right up his alley. Love to hear it. That's true. You do like the characters, too. Okay, so to do his funny little leg, and look, I brought us close to the bottom, but what can you do? We are going to go inside, because again, we're looking at our reference photo, and we see that his little tube leg starts a little bit inside of his pant leg. So we're just going to go swoop, right? He just curves over. Right now it might look like he's peeing or something. But same thing, same line. We're just going to bring it on over. It looks like a little macaroni noodle. Draw a craft dinner. Done. And from that little craft dinner, just draw another line. Right there. Looks wild. It almost looks like his legs... Well, I guess his legs are crossed. I was like, it almost looks like his legs are crossed. They are, Taylor. They are. Okay. We've got that, and now let's get back up to this crazy wacky arm we started. Now that we drew in his belly, let's do another bean. on down from here, right? You can just add her in to that circle. You don't even have to draw this line if you don't want to, right? If you want to, you can just draw the bean off of what we've already drawn on there. Right? That probably made it confusing, but see, there's a little space, a little crack right in the middle. And then let's just do one more rectangle down on from there. How's that feel? How are you, Svengali? How have you been? And let's go back up to this hand. We're jumping around, but let's just draw a circle right here and see where it is. Like the line that I made from his sleeve, right? It starts there and it goes over top a little bit. That's his hand holding on to his skateboard. That's his little hand. And then realistically his arm, right? This is going to be red, but we didn't draw it on purpose. You can make a line there just to remind yourself. So, now we've basically got everything down yellow, which means it's probably time to just color all those yellow spots in. And again, you want to use a bigger brush than you're using than outlining with, right? It can be rounded, it can be square. This one's probably a little big, depending on what size your canvas is. It can be, again, it doesn't have to be huge either. Like it can be like one of those, but you want something a little bit bigger to start slanging some paint around. And remember, we want it to go on opaquely, so we don't want too much water. We want a little bit of water on our brush, but we want pretty thick paint. Right? And we're just going to go in and fill in around, not in his eyes, but around his eyeballs. This is, oh, if you're using a pencil, get rid of that pencil now. It's time for you to join us on the paint side and start painting in all of these shapes that we have developed. Right? Remember, this bean went over top that back eye just a little bit. And I'm still being, remember, conscious of my brush strokes. It's not the end of the world if you're not, but I'm trying to be just up and down. Color in those little pointy triangle heads. Right. Remember, if your paint's not pulling nicely across your canvas, you may just need to add a little more water to your brush. Like if it looks kind of sandpapery, like you can see the little grains of, what is it? Canvas is the word I'm looking for underneath. You just might need a little bit extra water. Kenzie's saying, I heard if you give your paintbrush encouraging words, it also helps. Love that. I love that. Kenzie, why aren't you painting along with us? You are great. You're doing great, sweetie. And as we're filling in his face, we're going to do one thing that we didn't draw out because I didn't notice until right now. He's got a little bit of an eyebrow poking out the side. So we're just going to make right out the edge. Do you see how it's so small? I mean, do I have it in my zoom? Oh, wow. Oh, that's not in the right spot at all. That looks like it's worse quality. But can you see? I just made a little boop right out the side. camera's not doing as nice as this camera is. Alright, and we're going to come down to his little hand, and we're going to fill in those beans that we made. Right. And that little rectangle. And again, remember this spot right here is going to be red, but everything else is yellow. And same with his little macaroni leg. Let's just fill that in purely yellow. And you are going to lose, you don't want to fully lose where the shape goes. So I'm going to let a little bit of white peek so I can see where that square is. But that's that. Our Bart has truly begun. Nobody can tell us it doesn't look like Bart Simpson, right? Okay. So, as that yellow dries, let's just fill in this little red spot that we were protecting. Right? Again, remember it's nice and opaque. You don't want too much water on your brush, but just a little bit. And remember, we don't want to paint over that nice little circle that we made, right? So we make that curve. Bring that red on up. Right? How do we feel about that? I need a better yellow. My coverage is so bad on this paint. Ah, that's always the worst. So it's not going over your pencil. I always suggest golden acrylics. They're probably the most expensive, but golden is by far the best. And Liquitex too. Liquitex professional heavy bodies are very good as well. If you're somebody who wants to paint often. Nico, I know you'd paint often. If you want to just paint along dollar store paints, who cares? That's just fine. But we've basically got a Bart Simpson in our use Liquitex in Amsterdam. Ooh, Amsterdam's good too. Amsterdam's good too. We've basically got... Oops, I just punched the microphone. Apologies if that sounded crappy over there. Yeah, yellow's a tough one. White, black, and yellow probably is the third of colors that you want the best that you can, while other colors you can get away with poor quality sometimes. Okay, let's just quickly here map out his little booties. And again, you can use pencil if you want, but paint's nice too. I'm going back to my little outlining pencil. It's a paintbrush. My outlining paintbrush that we started with before. And the first thing we're gonna do... I just joined it. Anyone say eat my shorts yet? Yes. Kenzie did. But I love that you asked upon entry. Heck yeah is right. Okay, we're going down to make these little shoes quick. And remember how we're doing all these curved lines, right? They're not straight lines. We're trying to show a little bit of depth in a flat cartoon. So what we're first going to do is going to end of this little macaroni leg. Maybe I should zoom in on this. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know why the quality of the camera is so bad, but we're going to zoom in on this. Okay. Okay. And we're going to go to his little macaroni leg. And we're just going to do a curved line. I'm in blue. I'm using the blue. Might as well. Just color's fun. But see how I just did a curve on the bottom of that macaroni leg? It's not a straight up and down line, or else it would look like that. It's a nice curve. And from that curve, you're just going to make it like a donut. Right? You're going to come out and just mock that exact line. Right? Another bean. Bean science. Every painting can be broken down into beans. And underneath his little leggy here, we're going to do one more of them. Boop. My watch is telling me to stand up. Don't tell me what to do. Okay, and look, like I told you, I did bring it a little close to the bottom. Story of my life. But let's just bubble out from those little donuts that we made. This is literally all you have to do to make his shoes. We're just going to color this in blue. There's one shoe right there. My first time joining. Where are you from? I have style. Welcome to the stream. Love to see new faces. I'm in Canada. We're in Alberta, painting away. It's cold and snowy outside. New people always think that I'm American from the South because I speak in stupid accents all the time. I do talk French. Juste un petit peu français. Mais pas beaucoup. You too, hey. Bonjour, bienvenue. Comment ça va? Not every Canadian knows French, but I went to French immersion, so most of my school was in French when I was growing up. In elementary. Oh, fromage, says Kenzie. Cheese. Ça va bien, merci. Ah. Shoot, I don't remember what you're welcome is. I don't remember. You've got all of the French out of me that I know. De rien. Yes. Where are you from? Canada as well? All right, and here's his other shoe, which is literally the same shape that we just drew. Ah, Detroit. Close. You're close to us. See how his two little shoes are just funny little blobs? And you can color that one in too. Again, if you don't want to lose your shapes, you can leave a little bit of space. See how I just left a tiny little line? Like, we're going to outline it in black at some point, but we've got two little shoes on there. That's Bart Simpson, if I do say so myself. Okay. What part should we do next? It's only 7:52. We basically just have outline, whatever. Damn, Bart, back at it again with the blue vans. I know, and look at me just being like, make sure you picture where Bart's going to go so that you don't paint him off the canvas. And then I did that. So, even professionals get it wrong, you guys. What can you do? Alrighty then, folks. Should we just paint a skateboard in there quick and go from there? So if you were here painting Mike Wazowski last week, you might have a nice light green hidden away that you can use straight out of the tube. This one is vivid lime green. If you don't have it, you can mix it with some of this blue and yellow that we've already been using on our palettes here. I have Styles asking if I am an art teacher, and you know what? I guess I can say now that I basically am. I am an art teacher. Not on purpose. I am a full-time artist. I'm a freelance artist. And 2 years ago, I started doing these virtual paint nights when everybody was in lockdown. And now I've done like 100 of them. And I get paid to do paint nights locally in the town I live in. So I guess technically I kind of am. Where can you find my work? If you hit up, where is my hand here? Oh, here. Taytayski on Instagram, or taytayski.com, or Taytayski on YouTube. Any of it. I teach painting fundamentals, not just paint nights. You guys, you just are so kind in the comments. Kenzie just not letting me be modest about my teachings. It feels weird when it feels weird to me that I teach painting, but I do. I can't say I don't. I do. Okay, we've got that green paint, whether you mix it with blue or yellow or you squeezed it right out of the tube. Whatever tickles your fancy. I don't like mixing colors personally, so I like to buy colors. Some artists hate people who use stuff right out of the tube and only mix their colors. So you do you, boo. I don't think if you're using pencil, I really don't think that you have to pencil this in. I think you can go straight into green. And we're just going to literally make a line. I guess it's the same length of his body. Yeah, we're going to make a line from the ground. So wherever your shoes end, if your shoes don't end at the bottom of the canvas, it doesn't matter. You have to want to end it on the same line as your shoes. And you're just going to paint that green line a little. You can make a straight line right on up to that yellow. Justin loves mixing, and Kenzie says drinks. You like mixing drinks too. But yes, Justin loves to mix his own colors, and he's very good at it. I personally, call me lazy, but I cannot be bothered to mix paints. Colors. It's just you have more fun, you have more time to paint if you're mixing less, right? But see how I just filled in a green rectangle, really? I curved it around that little hand of his. But we just painted a green line on down. Maybe it curves a little bit at the bottom. Ooh, I like it, Picasso. Guys, the peanut gallery is strong today, and I love that. I love that. How's that? See how it kind of curves a little bit at the bottom? Not the end of the world if it doesn't on yours, but we've got a Bart Simpson skateboard. And then I don't have much room for his wheels on the side. Look at me go, guys. I just led you astray today. Bart Simpson. Let's go. There we go. Beautiful. He's perfect. He's an angel. I never got to learn mixing since I ended up doing digital art, sorta. Hey, Juventus. I can't say it right. I'm a all the way traditional artist, fully. Because I'm so stubborn, and whenever I try to do digital, I like get annoyed because I don't know how to do it, and I only know how to do it traditionally. So I'm like, why am I wasting my time doing it digitally? I'll just do it traditionally. But that being said, I wish I was a digital artist, because that's like, you any color you want in the world, you just eyedrop it. You make a mistake, you're just like, undo. We made Bart too close to the bottom. You just pick him up and move him over. Oh, what a dream. Digital's nice too. Digital's nice. Okay, painters. Oh, Jessica Bunny. Hey. Hi, everybody. Thanks for the props. Mistake, Control Z, new color, hex code. Exactly. Like, that's a dream and a half, if you ask me. But I just love painting so much, too. So, you know, there's positives and negatives to them all. Okay. Let's get some dimension on our little Bart Simpson. So you're going to take out your white paint, everybody. You're going to take out your white paint. You're going to put it on your palette. Oops, I probably don't need that much white, but let's go for it anyway. Remember I was talking about golden paints? I buy tubs of white at a time because it's the best. Okay, and you know how, not everybody knows, but people who've been here before, you know that I always teach the paint nights for multiple levels of people. People who've never painted before, people who paint often, people who have dollar store paints at home, people who have no paints at home, whatever. Anybody can do it. So sometimes I might teach details that you might want to skip and don't care about, and that's fine too, okay? So one of them is something that I teach often, is like the whiteout technique, where you use your white, and the reason I say some people do this is because not everybody's white will be good enough to do it. But you can use your white to correct any issues or shapes or weirdy mishaps or whatever that you want to get rid of. So for example, this is just, I'm just showing an example here. If I made his neck a little bit too thick, I think he's a little bit chubbier than I want him to be. I'm taking pure white on my brush. There's no water on my brush because I want it the most opaque as this white can ever be. And I'm just going to paint away, like I'm painting white over top the yellow that I want to make go away. Does that make sense? And you can kind of blend out the white a little bit. But do you see how that made him a little bit skinnier? And same over here. Same thing. It's like, oh, maybe I made his chin a little bit too far. I can white out. See how I'm whiting out some of that extra yellow to make the shape that I want. Right? That's why I always say there's no mistakes in painting. You can really like erase anything or paint over top anything that you want, especially with acrylic paint. Almost only exclusively with acrylic paint, because watercolor you can't paint over top of stuff, and oil, it takes forever for the oil to dry for you to be able to paint over top of it. I have style just peeked at my gallery, and you love the dog pics. Thank you. The rainbow puppies. I guess there's black and white puppies on there right now too. Is anybody painting along with hashtag Taytayski? Good call. Look at me being terrible and not talking about it again. I keep doing this. My bad. You have a cane corso. I've never even heard of that before. But any dog is the best dog. You're going to color your coloring book. Does that count? Yeah, go for it. Please do. But anyway, that was my whiteout technique, everybody, that you can utilize if you want. Like, let's just say a shape or something got away on you. You can use your white paint to paint away areas that you don't like, okay? I guess nobody wants a free print. Fair. Whatever, guys. That's fine. All right, we're getting back to the main event. You don't have to do that white out, no stress at all. We're going to go into where his shirt has those outlines on us. Okay? Not outlines, some dimension, some depth on there. So we're going to take a little bit of white on our brush, and we're going to take a little bit of red as well. We want to get a light red color, which is basically pink, but that's okay. A big old mastiff is what I have style has. Oh my goodness. I haven't painted a mastiff, I don't think. Maybe I gotta. And then Jessica Bunny's putting babies to bed when paint night starts. No. So the 7 o'clock is worse for you than 8 o'clock. All right, everybody, we've got that red and white mixture. And we're going to go back to our pointed brushes that we used for outline. Where did mine go? You can't afford me. Hey, I never set my prices. I don't know. How do you know? So, I'm getting that pointed brush back, and I'm going into that white and red. Okay. And we're going to go in. Let's remember, try to, like, where... Sorry, my voice got away on me. Let's try to remember where that little rectangle was at the bottom, right? We're going to draw just a line. And this is not white. This is that pink, this red and white. Remember, his sleeve started here, but we're going to make a line there, and then on his belly, we're going to go around his belly too. Right? How is that? Whoop. We're just adding a little dimension in there, a little reflection. Same on this little sleeve that we made right on the top. Gets a swipe of that pinky color. So you can tell it's not white because this is white, right? So you can see it on there. Okay. How is that? A lot of, like, Bart is basically done right now at this point. It's basically just outline that's going to be making anything different. If yours is too white, can you blend it? Heck yeah, you can. If it dries a little whiter than you want it to, let it dry fully. Add a little bit more red into that little mixture you made on your palette over here and go right over top of it. If it's wet on wet, you can mix some red in there if you want to, but sometimes that gets away on ya. But you can try, of course. Okay, let's see. I'm looking back and forth at our little Barty. And I think we gotta just start outlining some stuff, you guys. And things will start coming together better, okay? And remember, if you are a painter at home that has paint markers, use them. Black paint marker, easiest thing to outline with. If you don't want to outline with a paintbrush because that's stressful, because a lot of people hate that, you don't have to. You can use a Sharpie if you want. I always joke that other artists would say that's a sin, but hey, if you're just somebody that's at home painting and you just want to be proud of a Bart Simpson that you painted, take out a Sharpie. Who cares, right? I, of course, will be teaching you with a good old paintbrush. I always do. But know that brush control is something that comes with just doing it. It's not going to be something that's easy right away. It might be a little wobbly. It might get a little wild. But the more you paint, the better you'll get, okay? I'll do my quick little pressure test that I do every time. My eye is so itchy. Just so that if you're new to a paintbrush, you kind of understand how it works. So I've got this good old paintbrush, right? Okay? And you're going to dip it in your whatever color you want. And if you want to do a nice thin outline, you're going to put just the tip of your paintbrush. So like if you look at it from the side, you can see just the tip of my paintbrush is painting on my hand. And look at that nice little skinny line that we just made. But if you use every single paintbrush, bristle of your paintbrush, see how I'm pushing super hard? The whole thing is flat on my hand, and I pull that across. Look how thick that line is, right? So that is how you get little dainty lines, is by using just the tip of your paintbrush and using something else, whether it's your elbow on the table, your arm on your painting, something else to hold the weight so that you're not pressing really hard on the paintbrush. Does that make sense? So, let's start. Let's just start doing it. I'm going to have to sit a little bit different here. Sometimes I don't breathe when I do outlines, so don't mind me there. But, okay. I've got black on my brush. There's a little bit of water in there because it'll help us move it around, but we're not doing that chocolate milky consistency. We want it to be pretty thick, okay? And why don't we just start nice and easy? Just the outline of this sleeve. Easy. And again, everyone paints different. Like maybe you want to make your outlines super thick and chunky. Maybe you don't want outlines at all. You don't have to. But here we go. Right on top of that line. Right. Maybe try not to breathe when you do it too. I don't know if that helps. It's probably unhealthy of me. Alright, we're going up here, and again, on the other side of that nice white line we made, if it's a little wet, maybe wait to do this, but we're bringing that line on down and bringing that belly on out. Right? I just reread the same question again. Whoops. Remember about pressure. Remember about having a little bit of water on that brush to pull that paint across. Boop. My lines are pretty thick, but that's how I do it all the time anyway. Whoop. And again, I'm just following a reference photo. I'm a reference photo artist. I need to look at something to paint it. I can't paint stuff out of my head. I actually learned on TikTok that there are different levels that people can see when they close their eyes. Like, I don't... Some people can close their eyes and see perfect, like, images exact. I don't. Mine's basically black and white. Like, there's hardly any picture at all. There's hardly any image. Some people can't imagine anything. When you, like, try to picture a red star, some people can't see it. I'm like closer to the nothing in there. The nothing in my brain. No, but does anybody else have, like, to some people, can you see very clear images? I have to find the little chart. Kenzie, I think we talked about this at one point. It's like, try to imagine a red star when you close your eyes. And can you see a perfect red star? Or can you see a white star? Can you see just like blurry images? Oh my god, you guys, it's Dresden. Dresden! You found us again. We didn't know if you're on caffeine anymore. Hello. Good to see you. Good to see you. Everyone's coming out of the woodwork and I love it. Dresden. I was just thinking about you actually because the Comic Expo. The Comic Expo is coming to Calgary and they're doing a big Lord of the Rings like reunion, and I have to finish that Lord of the Rings painting. It's got to happen. How's our outlining going, people? Whether we're doing it with a paint pen, with a Sharpie, with a brush. How are we feeling? When we go to his pants, it's going to be a little different. It's not that whole circle. We're going to pull a line up in here and then bring it around. And again, your outline doesn't have to be as thick as mine. I just like it that way. You're still thinking about that? Totally honestly. Well, it's not only you. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. It's just you are one of the people that wants one of those prints. It's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. What better time than now? So it's gotta be done before April. Alrighty. How are these outlines coming along? Look, Bart's coming together, y'all. How are you, Dresden? What have you been up to? We're in the new studio. We've got the store going. I can't promise that I'm back every Thursday, but I'm back for some Thursdays. Next Thursday I'll be back, but then it'll be a little bit more sporadic. Alright. And let's follow that little macaroni noodle on down. Not great, but glad to see the stew and all. Oh, we hate to hear that. Also, the state of the world is most people are in that position too, but oh, I hate to hear it. I hate to hear it. That's why we just gotta get our little paint night cruise back where we just don't talk about the crappy things going on and we just paint for a while, right? Ugh. Another place and time, smiles here and now. You're always the sweetest, Dresden. We started last week actually. Last week was our first paint night back in 6 months. Which is wild. We started with good old Mike Wazowski. Coming to our Bart Simpson today and doing a panda next Thursday. Oh. Remember on the shoes, again, your outlines don't have to be perfect. We can redraw anything if you need to, but there's his little feetsies. Okay, and let's come on up to his head here. Let's draw a line up. And again, remember too, like when I was teaching you that white outline, erase, like a white out technique, you can kind of do it with a black outline too, right? Because when you're doing the outline, you can choose to do it on the outside, like on the white around the yellow. You can do it in the yellow to bring it in a little bit. A welcome back cake then, says Dresden. Appreciated. Love that. A little candle. So cute. Thank you. Sweet angel spoiling me in the chat. Oh my gosh. Don't catch my yawn. Don't catch it. Get better just got out of focus there for a second. Okay, we're still just outlining away. And when it comes to his little ear, you can see that the outline goes over top. Like, we're not just going to the outside, we're coming over. Like, we're almost outlining the whole circle. But we stop. It's a C. You gotta go. Thanks, Jessica Bunny. Just try to put the baby to bed earlier. Be like, Mommy needs this. See you next week. Okay. I made his ear bigger, but that's fine. Remember, we're doing Chubby Bart today, and we love to see it. Alright, and then we're going to go straight on up. We're going to let that C curve there, and then we're going to go straight on up. Oops. And you know the drill, just follow along. Oh gosh. Follow along his hair. And again, like I said before, I'm a messy painter. So I personally like when, I'll bring it in a little bit, like see when I did the outline around it, like there's still some white peeking through on this side, and I think that's cool, so I keep it. But don't feel like you have to copy that. You can go flush to the line if you want, whatever works. And we don't forget his little eyebrow, right? Oops. Oh my gosh, it's Bart, man. I don't know, look at him. Coming along. It's a pretty quick one, if you think about it. Okay, so we're first going to do his eyeball. We're going to do this eyeball, because when we look at our reference photo, we can see how it overlaps everything. It overlaps the nose, it overlaps the other eye. And this is the one, outlining the eyeball in black will be a little bit more difficult. Make sure everything around here that your palm is touching is dry, okay? And see how I didn't do it in one swoop? I did it in a couple. That might be easier for some people. Oh, made him a little eyeliner. What if your palms are sweaty? Then your knees had better be weak and your arms are ready. Arms are heavy, I mean. If it makes you feel better, my palms are always sweaty, okay? They're always stressful, clammy. And then from here, let's make that nose. So from his eyeball that we just drew, let's just draw a line straight out. Like that little bean that we had in there, remember? But again, we don't have to outline the whole bean. We just outline some of it. My lips are chapped. And same old thing, we gotta do these other eyeball over here. I made a second eye a little big, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Okay? There we go. And I am going to continue it on down right from that eyeball. It almost curves out a little bit at the end. See how that wasn't a perfectly straight line? See how it kind of curves a touch out the side? And now we're going to make his smile. So wherever we are at the bottom of his mouth, we're going to align with the bottom of that rectangle, okay? So we're going to come over top of his neck that we've drawn, probably about halfway. And we're going to curve that, oops, we're going to curve that line. See how it's a down curve? How's How's that? Bart. He's got the classic smile line, right? Where you just do the good old light C on the side. Aw, Bart. So cute. And then he has a little bit of a lip and a line on down. Oh. How's that? I'll bring it closer to see that. To make that little lip, you can see I cut in a little bit. There's still a little bit of yellow on this side. But we've got mostly Bart. Right? And their ears are always so cute. I remember as a kid I learned how to do cartoon ears from Simpsons characters. It's just a curvy T. Right, so the top line kind of curves the same way as the outside line of the ear curves. Maybe I'll zoom in on that. So see how it curves like the top part of the ear, and then it's a T with the same thing. You're kind of mocking the outside line of the ear. Little cartoon T's, curly T's. Probably even curve more if you wanted to. Bart Simpson. Hey, I just noticed the neon sign. Right? I know I have to get a dimmer for it. It's a little bright. At the start, I was saying I never accounted for my top bun. So I need to be down here a little bit more. Thank you. Gotta be official. Gotta trust the process. It's so funny because obviously trust the process is not my line. But I love it when people are like, when other people say trust the process, they think of me. Oh my god, thanks. It's just a motto to live by. Okay. Now we've got his little arm over here. It is the color of my hair, that's true. They are one. This back arm is as straightforward as outlining the outside. And then just to make the arm look like it's folding, you just draw a line a little bit longer than where the other line will connect. See what I mean? We kind of made another T almost. Not almost, we did make another T. And we're not going to really do fingers because we really don't have to. We're just going to outline that rectangle a little curved. If you want to make a finger, you can make another line in there if you want. But it doesn't really need much detail. People know what's going on over there. Right? Okay. Okay. Now, for the other hand, we are going to draw a couple little fingers, and that's okay. First, we are going to make an outline through this arm and around the circle that we made, right? So see how we're going to make a line right there and curve it along where that circle was. Right? And we bring it around. Whoop. Right? And then we're doing the same-ish idea over here, but we're going to start by overlapping. So we overlap a little bit, right? A little fold. Maybe I can zoom in again to it. You guys can't see him on there. Let's do that little hand in there. So see how we did that little fold over? And now let's just as like we're filling out the circle, but instead of going all the way around the circle, we're just gonna make one little finger bean. Right, this yellow's still gonna be around, but we're using that yellow circle that we made to just align where the rest of his fingers should go, right? So we made that one little U, and then guess what? We're just gonna make another little U. And see how it's going to the bottom of that yellow circle that we've already drawn. And you guessed it, we're doing just another U. And he's got a hand. This is it. That's all you need. Gotta love a good cartoon, am I right? And what's funny is that's literally exactly what his hand looks like. It's not like we're just cheating like I did on Mike Wazowski. Okay, and you know the drill. We're just outlining everything. So we gotta go through and outline this good old skateboard. Right? And one more line in the middle of it. And one more line down the back of it. I think he made a line in the middle, like a rough line. Skateboard. You can do whatever you want to it, really. Oops. I made a mess. And to make it a skateboard, let's just add 2 circles. And another one. Just 2 circles. How's that? We've got a little skateboard going. And again, I've heard nothing from you painters, so I'm just assuming it's going well. That's what I like to believe. That's the reality that I like to believe. Okay. Well, should we just do some circles in his eyeballs? Right? Look, it's not centered. It looks like it's a little bit more off to the side. Bart Simpson. He actually looks a little googly-eyed in this one. I'm just copying what I'm seeing. We're going for it. Bart Simpson? Is that you? Is that you, sir? Okay, we're not fully done yet, but we're basically done, okay? Right? Maybe? You still haven't tried painting? Is that what you're saying? Lol at me already forgetting what I said that you're talking about. Kind of bad. We've done like 80 paint nights. We've done 80, Dresden. That's crazy. Okay, you little painters. Remember, you can touch up at any time. Like if you want to go back in and add some more yellow to fix some spots, you can. If you need to go in and fix things with your white, remember, like, hey, maybe you're like me and think like, oh, I made the outline of his head, his eyeball a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be. Well, then you can go in with pure white and do that good old whiteout technique that we all know and love now. Yeah, Tristan, you are an artist. I remember. Didn't you show us your guitar that you drew one? But see how if I go in there with white and I paint over a little bit of the black outline. Yeah, we're for sure going to add the highlight. I'm going to test out. Nikki's asking if we're adding like his shadow to him, and we totally are. I was a little hesitant to know how we should mix it, what's the best way, but we're just going to go for it. But see how now, once I finish this one little spot, See how thick this outline is and how thin that one is now with my little whiteout technique? If it's something, again, this isn't something you have to do. It's if it's something is bothering you on your painting, I try to figure out or show ways to solve any normal issues that might arise for you at home. But see that? Just thin it out a little bit. And same too, it's like, oh, maybe do you think you put his pupils in the wrong spot? You can add some pure white to them and kind of move them around a little bit, whatever works. Okay, so just like Nikki was saying about all of this little like extra highlights, the shadows and the shadows and the highlights. We're gonna start with the highlights first, okay? Because we already got some white on our brush. We're using a little brush. We're going in with a touch of yellow and a bunch of white. You want there to be way more white than yellow. To the point where it's like almost white. Right? So again, white gets affected by other colors very easily. So you always want to use tiny, tiny, tiny touches of the other color. In this case, yellow. To maintain a very light pigment. So, I've mixed yellow and white together and it looks just like white on the camera, but I promise it's not, okay? And we are going to, again, looking at our reference photo, we are going to draw a yellow light highlighted spot on the far right side of him. Do you see that? And on his little eyebrow too. And again, depending on what type of painter you are or how far you want to bring it or how comfortable you are, you could stop before we do these. You could have stopped already. You don't have to do these outlined highlights and shadows. This is kind of just whatever, another step to give them some depth. But realistically, you've already got a Bart Simpson without these highlights and shadows. Okay, but do you see, again, I'm just following my reference photo. But adding this gives him a little, like I said, a little more shape to him. He's not as flat. So there's another little highlight above his nose. Could it be watery to make the white less opaque? Ah, Dresden. We'll have to have you regulars in here. Yes, you totally can. You totally can. In this case, it's not as much of an importance just because he is such like a blocky cartoon, right? Like if you want to get that watery textury look, 100%. If you want to maintain his like blocky colors, then you don't have to do it the watery way. See, again, I'm going basically on the right hand side of all these shapes, right? If you're picturing his whole head as a shape, we went on the right hand side. This arm as a shape, we went on the right hand side. Same on this little hand we made over here. We're just gonna do it on the right hand side. Like so. And don't forget his macaroni noodle leg. Boop. You want to touch on the other one if you want. Right? And maybe just a little bit on his ear, kind of. Just a little touchy. Maybe not, but I'm going for it. Also, he appears to have it on the right-hand side of most of his little triangle heads. Right? How you like them apples? Bart Simpson is good for me. Okay, so he's got some outline in there. So the thing that had me worrying about teaching you guys the shadow is mixing that color. And I'm just going to see here if I can do it okay. Again, we all don't have a wide range of colors. I don't want anybody to lead you astray and then you hate it. You're like, oh, I love my painting until I mix this crappy color. Because that can happen sometimes, okay? So my assumption of what's going to be best here, but again, like Nico, you said your yellow's not the greatest. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to take yellow and I'm going to take the tiniest touch of black ever. Like the tiniest, tiniest, tiniest touch of black. Because I was talking about white being a very easily mixed, a very easily, whatever, I don't know what the right word is. It's easily changed. Black is a very powerful pigment, and it'll change any color at all that you mix it with. And heck yeah, Dresden's here, Justin. I freaked out too. Because we were just talking about OG people that were on caffeine, and we didn't know if you guys were still here. And you, of course, were one of them. Okay. So I added a tiny touch of black. And when I say tiny, I mean like a toothpick's worth of paint, of black in my yellow. And I'm going to just show you down here on his leg. Like, it's not a pretty color. Like, it's going to be kind of ugly. But if you look at the Bart himself too, like the color isn't nice anyway. This one I would probably suggest to use a little bit more water in your paint than you did when you did the highlight. But now we're doing the opposite. So now we're going like on the left hand side of all these shapes, right? So like look, if I'm on this arm, we went on the right hand side with this light color. Maybe I'll zoom in. You can hardly see. Maybe I'll make it a little bit darker for your sakes, adding some more black into the yellow. On my canvas, I can tell huge this color, but you can't really on there. Do you see? Like I'm going on the right-hand side now of all this shape. See, that's very dark. You don't need yours to be as dark as mine is appearing right now, but I wanted you to see it. All right, do you see that? Shadow value. Again, not everybody has to do this if they don't want to. But once in a while I'll take a tour and then I saw this and said, holy shit, sorry not sorry. Hey, love to see it. I'm glad the planets aligned today. We were laughing my last stream how I was like, I'm just gonna be gone for 6 months, everybody. I mean, not 6 months. I'm just gonna be gone for 1 month, everybody. And then it was 6 months. 6 months later, I'm back. Hey, we moved into a new home that we bought. We renovated the crap out of it. We got engaged, went to Mexico, got a new studio, did a couple gallery shows. Well, 1 gallery show, but 2 of my own new series. It's been wild. It wasn't really a break, I guess. It was a break from caffeine, but I guess it wasn't really a break in the grand scheme of things. But yes, it was nice to not have to be committed to something every week. Oh yeah, Dresden, you know what's going on. And anybody else watching, if you want to know what's going on, Instagram's where I post about all these things. Saw that. Cheer, John. You sweet angel. Appreciated. Have we even started planning a wedding? No, we've got other things on the go. That's the question I get asked the most. Is like, how's wedding planning going? I was like, who? What are you talking about? Okay, how's that shadow going for everybody? Is it a weird poopy color? Because it's kind of supposed to be... Engagement planning are 2 very different things. That is very true. Oh, then Justin's dropping in the diamond. Thank you, guys. Thank you. that little shadow in there. Honestly, in person it is so dark. On the camera it doesn't look like it. You became a grandfather last year. It's okay that you aged yourself. That's exciting. A granddaughter or a grandson? Super cute. And exciting. I know my parents love being grandparents. Little grandson. Love it. Oh, I'm just talking and not teaching you guys how to paint here. So I started by just filling, again, I'm on the left-hand side of the shape, right on the left-hand side of his face. I did just one line all the way up his head. Oh my gosh, no, you don't have to hush. Peanut galleries are important. And when it comes to his little mouth here, I just curved it. See how we did the straight line down and filled out his ear, but then there's a tiny curve just around his little smile that we made already. Do you see that there? Very subtle, you have to squint. And right here too, under his nose, just a little dark spot. How is that? Does he have them on his... I don't know. I guess he kind of does. Over here. Dory and sorry? You're sorry and Dory? You can put dark on the left-hand side of some of his shoulders too, but hey, that's pretty Bart Simpson-y. Right? And again, like depending on how much detail you want to do, you can do the exact same thing with the red, right? Like he has darker on this side. So it would be the same thing. You grab your red, you grab a tiny little touch of black, but again, a tiny little touch of it because it will take everything over. And we start by going on the left-hand side of all of these shapes. Boop. I'm not joking about the little bit of black, okay? Don't want to put too much in there. Like, I probably put, it's going to dry pretty dark on there. But again, I'm just copying what I'm seeing in the reference photo. But it's pretty safe to say you follow... One side's going to be light, then the other side's going to be dark. I need to find that picture that I'm talking about of like the different levels that people can imagine in their brains. Because I think most people just assume like, oh, you're an artist, you can see pictures in there. But no, I can't. You see those dark spots? While I find that picture I'm talking about? Different, let's see, I'm literally gonna, it's gonna be the most broad Google. Different levels of visualization. Let's see. There's like a name for it. If you can't picture anything, it's called aphantasia. Where is the example? I hate that you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Okay, if somebody tells you to picture a red star, when you close your eyes and you imagine a red star, what level does it look like to you? For me, it's like 3-4. It's never colored, and it's very faint. You guys see that? Oops. You're just seeing the reflection instead. Ah, you got a 4 too. Yeah, see, isn't it? I think like I'm 4-3. Sometimes like 4, yeah, 4 is a little... But if I could be a 6, that's how I think that artists who can draw like hyper realistic without looking at a photo. That's what I think, is that they can see, like they can close their eyes and they can see it perfect. But for me, it's just like little gray blobbies. Oh, no worries. If you, okay, so if you close your eyes and imagine a red star, what does it look like in your brain, in your imagination? Like, do you see nothing at all, like a 1? Do you see a perfect star like a 5? Or is it like Nico's a 4, I'm like a 3 or a 4? That's how you remember things, as you picture a list? Justin, like, you're a 6? Is that what you're saying? You can see the list perfectly. Dresden's like a 3. Yeah, you're like me. When I heard that people could see it perfectly, I'm like, what in tarnation? Oh yeah, a huge reference. Me too. And like, some people don't think, like, hear their own voices in their head, and that's like hard for me to imagine. I'm like, you don't narrate your day the whole time. Brains are crazy. People are cool. Okay. People painting along are like, get with the show, Taylor. You're gonna learn something too, okay? You're gonna learn to paint. You're gonna learn a fun fact every paint collector. He's basically done. We're just kind of like picking around here, but like, if you want to make his wheels have a little more dimension, it's white with a touch of black. And you're gonna use that pure black underneath there, and you're gonna draw the light gray inside of it. And it can be rough, it gets the point across. But see how that already made it look like a little bit more of a wheel? I talk to myself all the time, it's the answering the questions that make you uncomfortable. Hey, we can just avoid the questions altogether. That's what I like to do sometimes. How are our little Bart Simpsons, you guys? I don't know if Pam and your son, if you're painting today, I hope that went well. What should we do for a background? Bart. I'm just gonna fix this outline a little bit more here. Thumbnail, you need a butterfinger. Oh, I never even thought about the thumbnail. Brody got tired. Hey, that's okay. As long as he enjoyed what he was awake for. It'll be up on YouTube in like 2 hours. So if he ever wants to finish it up, he can do it again. There's no need to have to be there for the whole time. Hear people in our back alley. Eee. There we go. I'm just picking away. How are we feeling about a background? Like, what should we do for a Bart Simpson background? He thinks I'm funny. Brody, my man. That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear. As long as we have fun, that's all that matters. Right, folks? I try to keep it as PG as I can, too. I always put plus 17 because sometimes my mouth is unpredictable. And sometimes things get talked about in here that we don't plan to. It's usually good to go. I just want to get in trouble by caffeine in case I say a word and I'm not plus 17. I also realized here a little too late, I didn't do the blue, like the darker blue in his pants. Right? But again, you can add a little black to your blue, and you can do the same thing as we've been doing the entire time. I'm not sure, I'm not a partner with caffeine anymore, but that's what the plus 17 sign is for, is like, you have to have it on in case for any swearing or any adult mature things. And not, again, I'm not planning for those things to happen, but you never know. Right here, and you can do on his shoes too. I guess he has some more like colors on his shoes. I also just picked a random like royalty-free playlist on Spotify, so let's hope that they weren't joking and they're all royalty-free. I just couldn't put back the same playlist I had on last time. It just has haunted my dreams. Every time my Spotify tells me like my top favorite songs, my most played songs are like paint night songs, and I get so mad. Okay. What type of background should we do for little Bartmas? And thinking thumbnail too, Nikki. I just gotta make myself yellow, I feel like. Like, I just gotta make myself a cartoon character. A Simpson character, right? I feel like that's the right way. Yeah, I just gotta be yellow. How'd you guys feel about Sully last week? I was proud of Sully. I feel like he turned out cutie. Art already, Ross. Hey, and where is... This is what Kenzie bought me. Okay. Are you kidding? Oh, I guess this camera's probably better. A Toy Story Alien Ross. She was like, I found the perfect Tay mashup ever. That's me on Halloween that year, fully. I love her. I wanted her to be seen in my streams, but I don't really have a good spot to put her. Maybe over there. Oh, no, you still... Oh, you can see the top of her head. That is her hair. You guys will know. You guys will know. Okay, background. Should I paint it just black? Like he's just in a dark scene. And look at how to the left I made him too. What can you guys, what can you do? You win some, you lose some. Okay, let's do... I don't know why I hate doing backgrounds. What time is it? It's 8:51. You guys can start sending them in if people are dropping like flies. Would blue be a good... No, he's blue. The Simpson clouds or swatchy black swipes? Ooh, the Simpson clouds are a good call, I feel like. Simpson. I was just going to do black splatteries, but Simpson clouds. The Simpsons. Okay. I'm not fired, yay! It's kind of tough though. Now that I look at it, like we'd have to paint the whole background blue and then paint the clouds around it, right? How about, let's do that. I don't know. The clouds can be negative space totally, but okay, yeah, let's do that first. Let's just outline clouds. Some of you might want to change your water. It might be a little mucky. I personally am locked in here, so I'm just going to use this muddy paint water. But, and again, background, you can do whatever you want. By no means do you have to do these. We're just ad-libbing here. So we're just going to make some clouds. So I'm going to draw a line for the bottom of a cloud. That's always the easiest way. You can make it wobbly if you want. And from one side, you're just going to go bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Locked in the studio. Not the studio, more this, my streaming space. Kenzie doesn't let me out. No, she locks me in here. My streaming corner is packed very tight. I didn't realize that I locked myself in here quite tightly. And then now all, like, this camera over here, the wire is, like, in front of me of my exit to get out. And multiple times I have, tripped over the cord and almost ripped it out of the camera. So I try not to move from this spot while I stream because that would be a nuisance, wouldn't it? I'm just like, and I just pull this camera off and then it takes a while and it's just... So I lock myself in this little, like, 4 foot by 4 foot square. Clouds. Yeah, when I was designing it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's perfect. Like, this little corner of my studio is great. But then I never, like, really thought about the logistics of it, you know? How are these clouds? Those look like clouds, right? Let's do another big one right here that goes behind his head. And again, they're just like crazy lines. There's a little baby one. I literally just Googled Simpsons clouds and I'm just kind of roughly mocking what I see on there. But this already gives us more, like, we could even just leave it like that. Like, this looks like not an empty background anymore. The Simpsons. So funny enough, my siblings are like 7 and 9 years older than me. They're quite a bit older than me. And I remember being very young. I live in Fort McMurray, so I was quite young. My brother was babysitting me, and I was supposed to be in bed, and he was watching The Simpsons, and I was sitting on the stairs looking at a mirror that you could see the TV in. So he had no idea I was there, but I just remember watching it from the stairwells through the mirror. Because we weren't allowed. I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons. Rude. Okay, and how about just one on the top? Actually, I don't really like this one, but it's gonna stay there anyway. And then realistically, we could color in, like, you can color in the sky if you want, but I kind of just like this look instead. I was a sneaky little gal. I was probably like 6 if my brother was like 16 or something. I agree with Janable. Of course, Justin agrees with my mom. Were you allowed to watch The Simpsons? I feel like probably not. I remember I wasn't allowed to watch Simpson, and then yeah, exactly. And then Family Guy came out, and I'm like, hey, Family Guy's way worse than The Simpsons. Bart Simpson. There's a little cloud under there too. And here's a puffy one. Done. The lower down I got, the more water is in my paint, so they're kind of drying a little more translucent, which is kind of nice. Also, a side story for that, Justin always agrees with my mom. Without knowing that he agrees with my mom, because they think the same. And so that's why I wasn't surprised when he was like, I agree with Janimal. How are those clouds, folks? I just keep repeating the Simpsons in my head. I love him. Look at that. Nailed it. Right? I think so. Oh my gosh. That's how you shall stay. I love him. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave them like that. Again, you can color in the background if you want. You could have painted the whole background blue and then painted these white shapes if you want. That's something too. But I think we've got a finished Bart Simpson. I think so. He's a little messy from close up, but we pretend like it's not. Also, like, if you want it to be exact, he has like a white spot on his shoe. Matters how exact you want it to be. Yeah, is Dan still here? Dan, were you allowed to watch Simpsons? Again, now that I watch it, I feel like The Simpsons isn't that bad. It's a Family Guy that's like a little questionable. A 10 out of 10, Dresden. And what is this just? Oh, facts. Ooh, I like facts. I saw a lot of new props today. Such a new caffeine newbie. I'm just picking around because nobody's saying anything about needing help or anything. So I'm just... Look, you can add some white there if you want. I guess we never did the white of his pants. Oh. Nikki with the fire. You sweet angels. Always. Bart Simpson. Okay, I'm just gonna start picking at him. I feel like this is... Here, and I have a Sharpie so I can even show you if you want, right? You can just outline it. Look! From far away, you don't even know. I would wait for your paint to dry, though, because I just ruined this Sharpie. But... You can use a Sharpie, too. As long as your paint's dry. Bart Simpson. I know! A Sharpie, it's a sin. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anyone. Are we doing an in-person paint night while you're home? Do you mean paint night? I just saw you said, are we doing an in-person, but I added paint night in there. We probably should do a games night. We probably have to do another Palentine's Day. Yeah, of course. Of course. Gotta have you in the studio. When are you home? It's a real question. Do both. Nikki says do both. An in-person paint night with Justin. Oh gosh, I just smacked some stuff around. And a games night. End of March. Oh my god, I didn't know that. Oh, that's soon. I have to go to Edmonton to pick up the paintings end of March, but that can be a quick day trip. Good to know. Okay, you guys, around the end of March, see you for a games night with Justin. Okay, did anybody send any Barts in? If we got no Barts, that's okay. Oh my god, but I am gonna show you what Nikki sent me. Let me see, where am I here? Nikki sent... Did you paint that, or did you just find that? Where am I looking? Look at this. A Baby Yoda Bernie Sanders. You 3D printed and painted him. You guys, look at this thing. That is hilarious. Oh, if I wasn't locked in here, I would show you what she 3D painted and printed me. Or 3D printed and painted me. I don't have him right now. He's over there. Well, I have him, but he's not... I'm locked away from him. Okay, I love that. And just because you did such a great job, we're going to show your Mike Wazowski from last week. Because I didn't get any pictures of Bart today yet. So, that's okay. I know there's a few of you painting him and they'll come later. But... Wait, what am I looking at here? Oh, she has a picture! Oh my gosh, wait. This is what she 3D printed and painted for me. Look at that. It's Baby Yoda as Bob Ross. Painting the Mandalorian paint night that I taught you guys to paint. Now that is also a masterpiece. Oh my god. So funny. I love it! What else do we got here? I think I got... So here's Nico's beautiful Bart Simpson. Look how he said this has his name all over it. Nailed it. 10 out of 10. Beautiful. Beautiful. Great job as always. Everybody painting along. Great job as always. So good. What was I gonna say on down here? Brody, once Brody's is finished, hopefully we get to see it one day. We'd love to see it. I know you're sleeping right now, but I'm just anticipating you watching this. And the Oprah Props is back in the chat, you sweet little cupcake. Dresden with the 10. Oh, you guys, just spoiling me. just spoiling. Okay, I think it's thumbnail time. And I feel like it's not going to be super exciting. Where's my thumbnail? I feel like it's not going to be super exciting because I just have to make myself yellow, right? And I have to get back here so that I can be lit up. I'm just going to be... Oh. Strangle him? Strangle him's actually really funny. But then you won't be able to see the picture. Where does his neck? That's a good one. I love that. Bart! Anyway, he's... I feel like it's just an easy one. I'm just going to be yellow. Photoshop has made thumbnails not as exciting. Digital art, you guys, like I said. Always digital art. Making it so easy. Okay, friends. Hey, almost 9 on the dot. Oh my gosh, I got rid of Bart. That wasn't what I wanted to do. The practical ones with paper and stuff kills you. I know. I don't know. Maybe I should bring those back. Just bring like my construction paper and stuff. That was before I even thought about making them, like photoshopping them. I think the very first one that I photoshopped was the Paris one. If you go back on my YouTube through all the thumbnails, I think it was the Paris one. Don't lay a finger on my butterfinger, dude. But yeah, I did. I cut out Mickey Mouse ears one time. Good times, you guys. Okay, what are we talking about? We have one more scheduled. Like I said, I don't know if I can do them every single Thursday. I'm still not fully set up with work, but next Thursday we will do the panda. And make sure if you paint along or share it, you get a chance to win a free print, you guys. The last 2 times, nobody's been streaming along and there's been no free prints given out. I'm fine. It's fine with me. I keep the print, that's fine. But it's super easy. To stream along, use the hashtag Taytayski, and you'll get a chance to win a free print of your choice, even from your phone, because now you can stream from your phone on Caffeine. It's in the 6 months that this girl's been gone, lots of stuff has been changed. It's awesome. I painted along last week, but did you paint along while streaming? Did you stream your process, Nikki? That's the problem. Trying to get that hashtag Taytayski out there. We'll see how it goes. Wonderful seeing you back for a little bit. Missed the gallery. Oh, perfect, Dresden. Missed it too. You're a key component of the Peanut Gallery. Happy to see your face again. Face. But what did I say? Next Thursday, what's 7 days? The 10th? The 10th, March 10th, we will be painting a panda. A cute little panda. It'll help also. I taught it at a Pinovate class, my adult class, the 8-week teaching. Sometimes my brain gets away on me. I taught it in my 8-week class, but some ladies didn't get to finish it, and I thought, hey, let's do it virtually so that you can access it at any time on my YouTube. So that's coming next week, and then we'll probably be doing like 1 or 2 paint nights a month instead of 1 a week. But you guys know, follow me on Instagram, Taytayski. Follow me on YouTube, Taytayski. S-E, Taytayski. Across the boards. I know that you're not going to be excited that I'm not doing them every week, but I can't. I haven't or prioritized my life yet. I need to get a better work ethic, and then I can work back in weekly events. But they're not gone. Remember, you can always message me things you want to paint, what you want to add to the list, and we'll go from there, everybody. Love to see ya. Thanks for hanging out with me. Look at our cute little Barts. Always, if you're watching on YouTube too and you've lasted this long in this video, it always blows my mind. Feel free to email me your pictures. Instagram, DM it, whatever. I always love to see your paintings, even if it's a year from now. I love to see it. Someone just sent me, they did the frog and the glasses recently. That's an oldie but a goodie, and I love seeing them all. And yeah, like Justin's saying too, now on caffeine, you can catch up on my past ones on here. They're on caffeine now. You don't have to be here live. They have the recordings. And on my YouTube, I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers, y'all. I'm close. I'm very close. So if you want to just toss me a YouTube follow, I will be forever gracious. Grateful? Whatever. You know what's up. Yes, you can watch them on caffeine. That's a new feature. The recordings stay on here now. What? Love it. So you guys come check it out. Good to see you as always. And catch ya on the flip side, right? See you.